it's Callista again, and we're back on the hunt for pipe organs in hidden corners of Singapore. I am at the corner of Prinsep Street and Seligi Road, in front of this cheery wedge-shaped building. This building was preserved when the shop houses around it were demolished in the 90s because of its unique geometry. In fact, it used to be a blender cream colour until the National Arts Council moved in 1994 and gave it a fresh coat of paint along with its current name as the Seligi Arts Centre. Since then, it has housed the Photographic Society of Singapore as well as an art gallery. The Seligi Arts Centre is just one of the many places that supports the arts here in Singapore. The Rochor Bencoolen area is home to art schools like the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts and the LaSalle College of Art, as well as the School of Fine Arts and other arts organisations. Having said that though, there's one place that you may not have thought of as being related to the arts or music. Come along, I'll show you. So this is the Prinsep Street Presbyterian Church, and one of its most distinctive features is the red brick facade which extends to the bell tower. The church was gazetted as a national monument in the year 2000. We'll get to go in and listen to some music and speak to Mrs. Kee Ping Ping, who has been in the music ministry as a pianist and organist for over 30 years. So let's go in. We're here with Mrs. Kee, who is a long-serving member of the worship ministry here at Prinsep Street Presbyterian Church. Hi Mrs. Kee, thanks for having us here today. We know that Prinsep Street Presbyterian Church was built in 1843, which makes for over 100 years of history. Can you tell us about the founding of the church and its central figures?
Oh, you are right. This church is one of the oldest Presbyterian church. In fact, this year we're going to be celebrating 178 years of service, and it's one of the oldest church in Singapore as well. Originally, it was known as the Malay Chapel that was built by Reverend Keysbury in 1843. That was when he came together with the London Missionary Society missionaries, together with Sir Stamford Raffles and the East India Company, and they were reaching out to the community. At that time, the missionaries were also waiting for China to open. So when it finally opened, most of them left. But Reverend Keysbury felt the call to continue to reach out to the Malays in the community. And so he stayed on and he served them till the end of his life in this chapel. Later on, the English Presbytery took over the running of the chapel, and so it became a Presbyterian church. And it was to be renamed the Straits Chinese Church when it became predominantly Peranakans, or they nicknamed the Babas, yeah? And then when it came to time for the church to be rebuilt, it was about 1930s. And this church was then properly renamed Prinsep Street Presbyterian Church. And it's the famous red brick structure you see today.
Another prominent member of the church that we heard of is Sir Song Ong Siang, whose plaque we are standing in front of here today. Can you tell us more about him too?
Oh yes, Sir Song Ong Siang is the son of one of the pioneers, Song Hoot Kiam, and he was the first Straits Chinese to be knighted by King George. At that time, he was a very prominent and distinguished figure who contributed much to the community. And he was also a co-founder to Singapore Chinese Girls' School. And he began many initiatives for the church, as well as for the Straits Chinese community. At the same time, he was actively writing, and one of the books that he wrote that's now found in the library is the 100 Years History of the Straits Chinese.
Speaking of Sir Song, this church has a 3-manual organ with a donor plaque ascribed to Lady Helen Song. How did the organ come about?
Okay, Sir Song, together with Lady Helen and the family, worshipped at Prinsep throughout much of their life, and they gave much to the church. Not only did they donate to the rebuilding of this current sanctuary, but they also set up a trust fund in the name of Lady Helen Song. And it was from this trust fund that the donation came for the new organ that was dedicated during our 175th anniversary. It was also a fund that was set up to help enhance worship.
Mrs. Key, what type of music is played for the services here? And is there music outside the services?
We have both traditional and contemporary styles of service. We recognize that we have a very rich tradition of choral singing and liturgy, so that needs to be supported by the organ and the piano. We still continue with hymn singing, and we have new songs, of course, but the organ is very much used in our combined services as well. For the traditional service, we actually have small instrumental groups playing, and that adds a very nice, delicate touch. Yeah? Because we are in the middle of the arts belt, we have Nafa, Sota, and LaSalle. We felt that we need to be relevant to the community. And so we started a music and outreach project quite a few years ago. We opened the church for the community, and for the schools to come here to make use of the church, to house concerts and open it up. And at that time, this is pre-COVID, we had concerts for the AGO, and we had choirs coming in, and we even had Baroque groups playing. So it featured the organ very much.
Hello, I'm Rochelle. I'll be playing two pieces based on familiar hymns. The first is a piece by the English organist William Thomas Best, based on the hymn tune Saint Anne, better known as O God, Our Help in Ages Past, while the second piece is by the Belgian organist FLOR PEETERS, based on the hymn tune Hyfrydol, better known as Alleluia, Sing to Jesus. Both pieces will employ the 16-foot bombard stop in conjunction with other stops to highlight and bring out the hymn melody in the pedals. Here's how Hyfrydol sounds like on the pedals. I'll be playing the respective hymns before the pieces themselves, so do listen out closely for the hymn tune. And I hope you enjoy the program.